What's up, YouTube? This is a Take Five podcast. Today's topic is top five supergroups. All right, Dustin, what do you come up with number five?
Well, my number five, this one just I had not thought about this band for years, and showed up one of the Instagram classic rock pages or Instagram accounts that I follow. They showed up on it, and it's definitely an 80s supergroup, The Firm. Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, Paul Rogers from Bad Company and Free. And the
Yeah.
other couple guys went on to be in bigger bands later. The
Mm-hmm.
drummer, went on to AC/DC later. And the bass player went into the band Blue Murder with John Sykes and
Yeah.
Carmen Appice. And that was all after The Firm.
Yeah. See, it's funny because going through this list, there are so many with the same members, like over and over again.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and Firm has a couple.
Yep.
And I was going to put one in my list, but I assume you probably have it.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's honorable mention because that's definitely in the top five, but I'll let you have that one. So this one might be kind of surprising for my number five. My number five super group is the Traveling Wilburys.
Honorable mention. Yep.
From George Harrison from the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne from ELO, Roy Orbison.
Yep.
Solid, man.
But absolutely solid. That's why I had it 100% on my honorable mentions. Yeah.
That one record they put out was pretty good.
Yeah, they did a couple though, right?
Yeah, so I said I think it's the first one was the real good one.
Yeah.
But I think Roy Orbison died before the second one came out, so like the lineup
that sounds right.
Yeah, it's the lineup kind of switched a little bit, but yeah, that first one's a pretty good record.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what you got for number four?
Well, my number four is something a little different that I think you and I have talked about this band before. It's a little out of my realm, whatever, but Transplants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honorable mention for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Transplants, man. They definitely got their kind of own thing, punk, kind of hip hop, a few different things. Obviously, a couple, Rancid fame dudes, just some West Coast punk rock dudes. That first album theirs is the one that I really know, and I used to rock that a lot, man.
Yeah,
that Tall Can song.
Yeah, Diamonds and Guns, man. Like, that, like you'd hear that in like shampoo commercials and shit. Man, that song got massive, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but
yeah,
Transplants, man. Travis Barker.
I was going to say he's one that's in so many of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, he always plays with rappers and everything. But yeah, that's a good pick. I had that for honorable mention.
Yep. So that's my number four.
All right. My number four, once again, the first album was pretty good. Second album, not as much. But I had Velvet Revolver.
Honorable mention.
Scott Weiland from the Stone Temple Pilots. Slash, Duff, and Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses, Dave Kushner from Wasted Youth and Electric Love Hogs. But I always said it was like Guns N' Roses with Scott Weiland singing.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't dislike him, but I just feel like I should like him more than what I do.
Yeah.
Because of who all is in the band.
Yeah, I know. And I feel you. Like, I'm the same. Like, that first album was pretty good, but it, like you said, it should have been better.
Yeah. But I definitely honorable mention, man, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
So from my number three, I think you'll have this one for an honorable mention. Damn Yankees.
Yeah.
You got Jack Blades from Night Ranger, Tommy Shaw from Styx, Uncle Ted. The drummer's since been playing for Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, they were a 90s super group kind of carrying that.
They were like big too.
Mm-hmm. I saw them at the state fair in like
Yep.
95,
Yep.
94, 95, one or the other.
Yep. I was there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like definitely that because I think they did a couple records too.
Yeah.
So I had the first one.
Yeah, second one wasn't as good. I've noticed that with pretty much most of my list that the first record was really good and the second one not so much.
Yeah. So I had to throw Damn Yankees in the top 5 though, man.
Right on. All right. My number 3 is totally different from what I've put. It's mainly because of who's in it.
Yeah.
But the fucking Highwaymen.
Yeah, I was going to put Cash, them as an honorable mention.
Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson, man. Like, I should have had this on concerts I like to have seen because seeing those 4 together, and I'm sure they all did like solo shit too. So it would have been so fucking, and it would have been so good to see. And
the only reason why I think I didn't put them down is because I had the Traveling Wilburys. Yeah. And I think they were kind of this, a similar type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm glad you said it, though. I am glad you said it. Yeah. It deserved to be said, for sure. Sure. So, good pick, man. All right. For my number 2, I'm thinking you may have had this band for an honorable mention also. Okay, Down.
Yep.
Down.
Yeah, for sure.
That first Down record, we're talking first records.
Yeah, that first
can't be fucked with.
Yeah.
Cannot be fucked with, man. I mean, you got Phil Anselmo from Pantera, Pepper from Corrosion, couple Crowbar dude from I Hate God. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We kind of touched on this on the album closers, but dude, Phil is such an underrated singer, man.
Oh yeah, his vocal abilities, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's done so many different bands and different style of vocals, and he fucking nails it every time, man. He is so good.
And something more about this band is when that album came out in '95, they ended up playing. So it was just a side project originally, because at the time, all those dudes' bands were all doing very well.
Oh yeah.
So this was just originally a side project thing, to where that fall, or it was that winter, I want to say it was in December, they had played like 4 or 5 shows that was just, those were going to be the only shows originally that they were ever going to play. And one of them was in Cleveland, and I went up, saw it with a couple buddies of mine from back that I was hanging out with back then.
Nice.
And it was an amazing show, man. To see it that early on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was definitely lucky to have seen that early on before it morphed into like a normal thing for those guys, just like their other bands.
Well, I noticed some of these were considered side projects, but I still consider them super groups if they're,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not the debate at all. Yeah, super group for sure. Yeah.
All right, is that all you had for that?
Yeah. What's your number 2?
My number 2, once again, the first album was so fucking good, man. I had Brides of Destruction.
I figured you would. Yeah.
Featuring Tracy Guns and Nikki Sixx.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like so good. Like Nikki Sixx didn't last very long. He wasn't on the second record, but
See, I don't know a whole lot about him. I probably heard, I'm sure they did a single or 2 from that album, and I probably heard it, and I knew those guys were in it, but beyond that, I really don't know much about them.
You should check out that first record, see what you think.
The one, okay, yeah, we'll do.
Come the Brides.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I will. Yeah, that's a good pick though,
Yeah,
because that's got some solid people in it, man.
yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
that first, and it's funny you can because the second album wasn't as good, so you can kind of tell the Nikki Sixx influence. Like he gets so much shit, but he's a fucking hell of a songwriter, man.
Oh, I agree.
You know,
Yeah,
like that's why
yeah.
Motley Crue was so good because his songwriting. I don't care if he played bass or not. You know, you got that whole thing that's going on now, but his songwriting was good. You know.
Mhm. I agree, man. For sure.
All right, what was your number one? I think I know what it is, but
Yeah. Classic rock band, you know, huge from the 70s, but I still think they sometimes go underrated. Um, Bad Company.
yeah,
Paul Rogers from Free, and like you said, people in some of these same bands, Paul Rogers, being the Firm also, but yeah, Paul Rogers and Simon Kirke, the drummer from Free, uh, Mick Rouse, the guitar player from Mott the Hoople, the bass player played in King Crimson.
mm-hmm.
It's 1973, man. That was a super group.
Yeah, oh yeah, fuck yeah, man. Like I knew you'd have it because I would have replaced that with Traveling Wilburys, but yeah, Bad Company was so good, man.
Yeah. And fresh off the heels of Free, you know, um, I like Bad Company better than Free,
Me too, yeah.
and I like Free, but the Bad Company shit, man, and they are one of the, in my thoughts, one of the biggest bands from the 70s. But I think they fell under that wing of Led Zeppelin because they had the same manager, they were on the same label. Um, so that's kind of why I feel Bad Company went a little second place, when
Yeah.
I mean when I think some of the biggest bands, rock bands from the 70s, Bad Company's going to be in my top 10.
Oh fuck yeah. I mean like
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
if you go through their songs, man, they have hits, like so
Yeah.
many hits, man. Like
Yeah.
now I seen two versions of them. I seen one with Brian Howe singing for him.
Right. In the what, late
Back in
80s?
yeah, late 80s or yeah, somewhere. Then I seen them they got back with what's his
Paul Rogers.
Paul Rogers, yeah. In the early night or the early 2000s, they played with they toured with Styx and Billy Squier. So I
Oh,
got to
hell.
see
Yeah.
so I got to see Paul Rogers singing for him. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's proper Bad Company right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even did All Right Now, the free song. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was bad company. Like I said, like they have a lot of hits, but they should have been way
Yeah.
bigger.
I agree, man. I agree. And they were, yeah. Yeah. So that's had to be my number one, man.
Yeah, that is a good pick. Because
Yeah.
I knew you'd have it though, because we've kind of talked about them before.
Mm-hmm.
My number one's pretty predictable too. I've talked about this band so many times. Featuring Freddie and Hoya from Madball, Toby from H2O, Mackie from Chromax and Bad Brains. I had Hazen Street for my number one.
Yep.
I had Chad Gilbert from Newfound Glory.
Originally, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you weren't too much into that record, were you?
I don't hate it, but it it would come and go with me.
Yeah.
Like I rarely never listen to it on my own, but obviously we had enough mutual friends around that time that if somebody was playing it, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, yeah,
Now,
Yep.
like, it's funny because, like, they were on Good Charlotte's label. which even if I didn't know who any of those bands were, I would have checked it out because it's a good Charles label. But then the fact that it was Toby and Freddie and all those dudes on it,
yeah,
I would have checked it out, that way too. And it didn't disappoint. And like I was, and it sounds kind of H2O-ish in my opinion.
It's all,
yeah, because a lot of their later stuff they became pretty pop punk. I mean, it's different for Freddie, even though he did a little bit of rapping in it. It was kind of different than what he normally did, but so good, man. And I remember they played here in Columbus once. They opened for POD.
I vaguely remember that.
And I didn't even know they were opening up until like the day of the show. I was like, well, fuck, like I would have went if I would have known about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good pick though, man. Yeah.
So he's a streamer.
That fell off my radar for this, really, but that's a solid, valid fucking pick.
All right, what you got for honorable mentions?
Well, I had Traveling Wilburys. I had Velvet Revolver. Black Country Communion.
Yep.
Do you know about that?
Yeah. Yep.
Bonamassa, Glenn Hughes, Jason Bonham, a few different. I think Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy was a part of that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I think so, yeah. It's funny because Glenn Hughes and Jason Bonham, they're in a bunch of supergroups.
Yep. Here's one, man, that might surprise you that I even bringing it up. And this was a punk rock supergroup, early 80s, man. Lords of the New Church.
Yep.
With,
from Dead Boys. Yep.
Yeah. So I thought that deserves some mention, Yeah,
I listened. I almost had that on honorable mention.
Okay. I got Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
Because, obviously.
Only thing is with that, like I was going to have that, but I just consider that Black Sabbath.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
But I'm kind of glad they call, because you and I, we have this conversation a few, often. I'm okay with it being Black Sabbath, but when it's those Dio albums and with Apathy on drums, it set itself apart from Black Sabbath.
Yeah. But you got to look how many versions of Black Sabbath there was, and they've always called it Black Sabbath,
Right. And that's why I kind of respect even more so for that reason that they separate Heaven and Hell as that's Dio, Apathy, and Geezer and Iommi. There's no revolving anything with the Heaven and the Hell. It's that stuff.
Yeah.
So I had that. You were just kind of touching on some Glenn Hughes, Dead Daisies.
Yeah, I had them.
Yeah. And that's one that, has different people coming and going, which I think is actually kind of cool about that.
Yeah.
band.
Yeah, that is cool.
It is that one main guitar player whose name I can never remember, but and Doug Aldrich is usually a pretty solid mainstay, but the time we saw him just a couple years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was with Glenn Hughes and Tony Cliftos, I think, was the drummer. Yeah, I mean, I know he was a drummer. I just might be saying his last name wrong. Mm-hmm. But I think right now Brian Ticci's playing drums. Isn't Karabi doing vocals?
He did. I think he was on the earlier records. I think he was before Glenn Hughes. But
okay,
yeah,
I thought
but
Karabi
I know
was back then. I could be wrong.
But unless it's happened since we've seen him, because it was Glenn Hughes singing that night. So, but yeah.
And it's not been Glenn Hughes since we saw him.
Okay,
I think Robbie came. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See,
brought up. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that would have been cool to have both of them play, and both sing, out have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, because Karabi plays guitar, so that
Yeah. Yeah.
could have worked.
Yep.
And the only other one that I have that I actually think this is a cool band, believe it or not, man, is the Hollywood Vampires with Johnny Depp, Alice Cooper, Joe Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. There's another dude who's Tommy Henriksen. Yeah, man, I had to throw that one there too, man. Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah, I was going through them. Like they mostly do covers though, so that's why I didn't have them on there. But yeah, it's still cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny Depp was kind of in another super group back in the 90s called P. It had Gibby Haynes singing for him.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Anything else? You got any more?
No, that's all I had.
I have a few. Here's one I am surprised you didn't say. Motherfucking Cream.
Yeah, Cream. Yeah, and it's crazy you said literally yesterday and today both the couple classic rock stations that I switch between on Sirius XM, which is Classic Rewind and Classic Vinyl, have been playing the fuck out of some Cream songs.
Really?
And like different songs too. Not like just the same shit. Like I've easily heard 5 different Cream songs between those 2 stations in the past 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's one I figured you would have had.
Yeah, it fell under my radar.
They were considered like one of the first, with Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. Yeah, they were considered like one of the first super groups. Here's one from, I think it's late 80s. They had one pretty big hit, Bad English.
Oh, yeah, I remember Bad English.
With John Waite and Neil Schon, Jonathan Cain from Journey. Yeah, they had that one, that ballad that was a big hit.
What was the song?
When I See You Smile.
That, and they also had another one that Cherie, Getting Me Hot, Cherie. Wasn't that Bad English?
I don't recognize that song.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was them, man.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it like on a different album?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's like the second album or something.
Maybe, or maybe a second single from that first album. But
well, because I know they had a couple singles off that album. They had "Forget Me Not" was the first single.
Okay.
Then they had "Love Is a 4-Letter Word," and then when I see, so that was the 3 singles off that first record.
Okay, I want to look it up when we get done here.
All right.
Because I could be thinking of the wrong band too and sound stupid, but I'm pretty sure it's them though.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. Just
I'm kind of second guessing myself now. I'm just me.
All right, here's one. This is a shout out to Justin. He mentioned this band before, the Neurotic Outsiders, with Steve Jones, the Sex Pistols, Duff McKagan.
Yeah.
John Taylor from Duran Duran, and Matt Sorum. Like Duff McKagan and Matt Sorum is in so many of them. John Taylor's in quite a bit too.
Yeah, I do forget about that. And once again, I can't really say I know any of their stuff, but I do know of that band. Yeah.
Son of Sam.
Yeah, I almost had that one too.
It's pretty much like Davey Havok singing for like Sam Hain.
Yep.
Because it's like the Sam Hain dudes like Todd Youth and London May.
Yep.
Here's an interesting one. I actually just discovered this band when I was doing this. See if you've ever heard of this. Spies for Darwin.
No.
It's Chris DeGarmo from Queensryche, Sean Kenny from Alice in Chains, Mike Inez from Alice in Chains, and Vinny, the singer from Sponge.
No, I did not know.
Yeah, that's like came across, and then they put out like one record, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Like Chris DeGarmo with the dudes from Alice in Chains. That's
Yeah.
I know it's all Seattle, but
Yep. Yeah.
I then Power Flow,
No, I don't know that one.
Sin Dog from Cypress Hill with Billy from Biohazard.
Okay, maybe I didn't realize it was called that.
Then
I
there's a
know
guy
they. I remember they've done stuff together.
yeah. Then dude from Downset and dude from Fear Factory.
Okay.
It's funny they kind of sound like Biohazard with Sin Dog, but Sin Dog was on some Biohazard stuff. Here's a famous one: Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, sure.
Soundgarden and Pearl Jam together. That's a pretty big one. Mr. Big.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing that on a few lists when I looked them up. Yeah. Eric Martin.
Yeah.
Billy
Paul
Sheehan.
Gilbert. Sheehan. I actually like their second record better. The one that had to Be With You on it. That record's pretty good.
And Mr. Big is I don't know if they got their name from this song, but it was a free song. I'm thinking they may have got the band name from that. I don't know that though.
Yeah, they might have.
Yeah.
Here's another strange lineup. Band called Tinted Windows. Has one of the dudes from Hanson in it, but it also has Taylor Hanson, and it has James Iha from Smashing Pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick.
Wow.
Yeah, they put out like one record. It's like power pop. It's not bad. It's something different that you hear from the dude from Hanson for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a couple more. Kingdom of Sorrow.
Yeah.
Jamie Josta and Kirk from Crowbar.
Yep.
I was going to do Ice Pick, but since I did Kingdom of Sorrow, I didn't do Ice Pick, which is Jamie and
Zach.
Circus Diablo. You know them?
I don't know that one. No.
Billy Duffy from The Cult. Matt Sorum. And then Ricky from The Almighty. And I think it's the singer from Fuel.
Damn, no, I didn't.
But I like one record. I got two more. Son of Scam.
Oh yeah.
Madball and Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Yep. And bunch of New York hardcore dudes.
Yeah. Now see if you've heard this band. This is one I just discovered too, but Gog Magog, I guess is how you pronounce it.
I don't know.
Listen to this lineup. Paul Diano on vocals. Yannick Gers, Pete Willis, Neil Murray, and Clive Burr.
Damn, what year did that come out?
Like 80s.
Yeah, because that's all British dudes.
Yeah.
From Maiden, Whitesnake.
Yeah, dude.
All these fucking bands. Yeah.
Like, check it out. I think I only put like one record.
I think I would be into that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I just discovered it yesterday. I was like, man, I definitely got to throw these on there. That's pretty fucking good, man.
So who was it again, other than Diano, Neil Murray, and who else?
Yannick Gers.
Okay. And he was in Maiden.
Yeah, he was in Maiden. Yeah, he was like, they had like 3 guitar players, and I just deleted it, but
okay.
But it's somebody from Whitesnake.
Neil Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Clive Burr,
drummer, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of Maiden dudes and Neil Murray.
Yeah. It's almost like pretty much a Maiden spin-off band.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out. Like I had to look up how to pronounce that word. I guess it's like some kind of like medieval monster or something, but
okay.
But yeah, check it out. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's all I had, man.
All right, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and
wants to go ahead and comment any other super groups we forgot about, you know? Like, subscribe, comment, some super groups. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching. 5 and out.
5 and out.